A better way to pay your UTG fees with instant proof of payment and real-time student portal update. Paying your University of the Gambia fees has never been easier or more convenient. With Ecobank, students, parents and guardians can pay UTG tuition and related fees through our secure digital banking channels such as Ecobank mobile app, Ecobank Online and Ecobank Omni Lite. Once payment is completed, instant proof of payment is generated and the UTG student portal is updated in real time, allowing students to proceed immediately with registration, course selection, and clearance without unnecessary delays, while giving parents and guardians peace of mind that payments have been successfully processed. How to pay via the Ecobank mobile app. Open the Ecobank mobile app and navigate to the home screen. Select Pay Bill. Choose Pay a New Bill and select Schools from the category options. Select University of the Gambia. Select the specific product you are paying for. Enter your matriculation number and tap Continue. Validate your details. The system will display the payable amount. Press Continue to confirm the payment. An e-receipt is generated automatically as proof of payment with real-time updates on the student portal. How to pay via Ecobank Online or Omni Lite. Log in to Ecobank Online and Omni Lite using your credentials. Select the menu and choose Bill Payments. Choose Quick Bill Pay and select School from the category options. Select University of the Gambia. Select the specific product you are paying for. Enter your matriculation number and tap Continue. Validate your details. The system will display the payable amount. Press Continue to confirm the payment. An e-receipt is generated automatically as proof of payment with real-time updates on the student portal. Walk into any Ecobank branch or pay through our digital channels and enjoy instant proof of payment with real-time updates on the student portal. Ecobank, the Pan-African Bank.
Jah Oil. The company have filling stations across the country and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jah Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
Sant Yàlla.
looy xaar utal Wave nga scan nga fay nag doo ci yokku dara.
It's Tuesday, the 30th. It's the final day of June 2026, and you're with Coffee Time with Peter Gomez. It's almost 9:15, and joining me is Dr. Ismaila Ceesay, our Minister of Information, Media and Broadcasting Services. He's a regular here. He's here at least once every week, unless he travels, of course, outside the country. He helps us understand policy and also explain some of the actions of government. He's back, and he always starts with updates. What's new, Doc?
Well, before I go to updates, and good morning,
Before
Peter,
you go to updates, I thought
I
updates
was
were...
listening to your program this morning with a certain Nyabali, and I'd like to clarify a few things which I think are misinformation. You know, we live in a world where now we don't live a vacuum when it comes to information, particularly those whose agenda is to cause misinformation among the public. He made a few remarks which caught my attention, and I'd like to rectify those ones. When he said the president is a tribalist, even though he has no evidence to back that claim, and I think you let him pass that one because you didn't press him to give that evidence why he said that. He quoted Sidinjai and Demba Sabali. But for me, I think it's important as a nation we have debates around these issues. Who is a tribalist? It's very important for us to understand that. Who is a tribalist?
The government can organize this debate.
We've not had that debate because a tribalist is someone who believes that his tribe is better than every other tribe and does everything to promote his, but to suppress other tribes. We don't have tribalists in Gambia. I haven't seen anybody in this country who believes that my tribe is better than everybody else's tribe, and therefore we suppress. It's like racists. Racists believe that his race is better than every other race. Therefore, he must suppress and manipulate all other races. We don't have tribalists in Gambia.
We don't?
No. I have not seen anybody, any public person, any politician in this country who comes out speaking like that, promoting that my tribe should lead and my tribe is the best tribe and all other tribes are below me. I have not seen that. Now, people can be proud of where they belong to. It could be religion, it could be ethnicity, it could be the region you are from. You can be proud to say, hey, I'm a proud Mandinka. Hey, I'm a proud...
Yeah, but nobody would call you a tribalist by simply saying I'm a proud Mandinka.
That's what I'm saying. That is what we have in Gambia, where people... But we don't have tribalists in Gambia. And
but when people start saying, hey, look at what is happening, I will make sure that Fullers, more Fullers get into government. I make sure I stop that Mandinka
those things, where they happen are nepotism and not tribalism.
Oh, that's nepotism.
That's nepotism.
That's not tribalism.
No, that's not tribalism.
Okay.
That's not tribalism.
So using tribalism for that would be a misnomer.
It's a misnomer. It's nepotism, which is wrong, which we condemn. Unequivocally, we condemn all forms of nepotism. We think that public office services should be open to every Gambian, regardless of tribe, regardless of religion, regardless of the region you come from, or regardless of your ability or disability. That is a given. That is guaranteed by the Constitution, and that is the policy of this government.
So Gambia's problem is not tribalism, but nepotism, according to Dr. Ceesay.
What we are seeing, that is when people think that, okay, I should give jobs to my tribesmen. Those are nepotism. It's not tribalism, because when you say tribalism, is my tribe should survive, all other tribes must die, because my tribe is better, my tribe is more it's a very dangerous form of promoting group identity. It's very dangerous, tribalism. And we don't have it in Gambia, and we cannot promote it in Gambia. So sitting here calling the president a tribalist really is unacceptable, and I think every Gambian must condemn it, because we never call the UDP leader a tribalist. So I think we need to respect our leader. We can debate on issues. Let's talk about the problems we have in this country. Let's talk about... Are
you using the UDP because he happens to be...
Yeah, of course. Exactly. Let's make an example. So let's focus on issues and not stop calling our leaders names which we know are false. And then you asked him, and I like the fact that when he said, but the president built roads in Kiang and hospital. He said, but that money is from Kiang. But for how many decades have the Kiankas been paying tax? Did any president build a hospital for them? Did any president build roads for them in Kiang? Even though they are paying this, they've not started paying tax under President Barrow. True. They are paying tax under Jawara. Did Jawara build them the road or the hospital? They are paying tax under Yajame. Did Yajame build them the roads and hospitals? No. So even if they are paying taxes, yes, but at least the president built the road for them that they've been crying for 100 years. So I think he should acknowledge that, rather than trying to spin that one. He said voting. You cannot blame the president for that. This is not the president who decides who votes. It is the Constitution. People have to differentiate between the Constitution, the laws of the country, and the president's powers. If it is the fact that I'm coming...
Unfortunately for him, he happens to be the face that promised Gambians that if there was change in 2016, which there was, then, among the reforms would be the ability of Gambians in the diaspora to vote from the diaspora.
Reforms are complex. If the president had the executive powers to decide who votes and who doesn't vote, the diaspora will vote, because we believe that the president has more support in the diaspora than any other political party.
He doesn't think the president...
Yeah, but I mean, look. So what I'm trying to tell you is that you can promise a reform. Okay, we are going to bring you a constitution, fine. That is your wish and your intention. However, those processes are entirely out of your hands. These are constitutional issues. It went to parliament, it failed twice. It is not the president's fault that it failed twice. In the second time, the UDP NAM sent it out. So and reforms are complex. Let me tell you, if, for example, today, the executive power the president has, that he determines the franchise, we could say, yes, it's his fault. But these are constitutional issues. These are law issues. These are legislative issues. And I think it takes a bigger brain than this guy to understand these issues. You cannot blame the president for that. These are beyond the president. And then a final response. I sat here. I was listening also last week, and I listened to my former student.
Oh.
He was my former student. He came to class twice. He ran away. He didn't even finish his master's still. And I even doubt how he even got to the bar. He's not very. If you are looking for an unintelligent Gambian, if you met the Menteng, grab him in the hands.
Oh.
And take him along.
You're serving him back his own bitter medicine.
He was in my class, in my master's class. He couldn't finish it. He dropped out because the class was tough. He called you
unintelligent.
Yeah, obviously. The class was tough. When he was in my class, he was my praise singer. He praised me every minute in that class that I'm the most intelligent lecturer and the best lecturer in the Gambia. He was praising me in that class. So when I heard him sit here last week, I was flabbergasted. And a deputy party leader who doesn't even know the colors of your party is, in fact, I shouldn't even have responded to this guy. I should have let the public judge him on that. A deputy party leader, you don't know the colors of your party that you support so dearly, that you defend so vehemently, that you promote so strongly on a daily basis. You don't even know the colors, the symbol of that party. Really, it's very disappointing. Of someone who said he has a law degree, and he passed the bar, and he's a National Assembly member. It is very disappointing. So let the public be the judge. Who is the more intelligent person here? At least I know the CA colors. At least I know the...
What are the CA colors?
That's blue and white. All right. So let's go on to the updates, Peter. His Excellency, the President Adama Barrow, will preside over the launch of the National ID card today. This is, like I said the last time, it's a generational solution. This problem of ID card has been fixed forever and ever and ever, from Katong to Koyana, from Katong to Kololi to Banjul. Every Gambian is going to get an ID card now, on the spot, and it will last for 10 years. Together with a digital ID card, we've solved that problem now. Gambians have been crying for ID cards for far too long. How many times have I sat on this platform and Gambians calling about that problem is over? Yeah. Today, after the launch, the president will be issued his own ID card and his family. Then we'll roll it out across the country. There'll be mobile teams going across the country.
So he will be card number 00001. Then the first lady will be number 0002.
I don't know the serial
number. And then the
number.
second wife will be 00003. And then how?
I can't speak for that. I don't know those technically. What I can tell you is that the scheme is the best that has ever happened to the Gambia. We'll roll out mobile teams across the country. There'll be stations across the country where any Gambia, it's on the spot. You come, the van will come to your area. You go, you show your papers. They take your biometric data. They print your card on the spot. It will serve you for 10 years. The idea is that within 3 months, 100% of Gambians will get their ID cards.
Within 3
months, 100 will get their ID cards.
By the time we get to the end of September, no Gambian should be without an ID card.
Yes, if everything goes well. And if that Gambian also goes, we cannot bring it to your bed.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah. I agree. Yeah. Every Gambian that wants to have an ID card should have one now against the end of September.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That is what is happening today. But also last week, the president presided over the dividend signing ceremony at the State House, where 6 state-owned enterprises remitted a total of $137 million to the government as dividend back to government. That is profits they've made. The Gambia Ports Authority gave 70 million. The National Petroleum Corporation gave 50 million. The Civil Aviation gave 5. My own Publishing and Printing Corporation, we gave 5 for the first time. We've been always at red.
Exactly.
Now I gave 5. JRTS.
Now we gave 5.
Yeah. JRTS. My JRTS that has been struggling to even buy cameras. We gave 2 million at least.
Struggling?
We were struggling before. Before.
Government pays your salaries. Government does a lot for you. You shouldn't struggle.
No, I'm not saying now. I said before. Initially, many years ago, the JRTS was struggling because
all those years, JRTS had no reason. Finally, we have a commission that makes sure that...
There. But now that they are part of the SOE commission, that is what they are doing.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's the SOE commission that is forcing all these,
But before that, that is why, and my emphasis is, the building of institutions by, once I sat here and said,
I agree.
The president's focus is 3 I's. Yeah. You know what those 3 I's are?
Institutions, infrastructure.
Instruments, and infrastructure. Okay. He created institutions in line with our reforms that are really making sure that Gambians have value for money. And now GRTS is giving 2 million. This follows a dramatic turnaround of SOEs in the SOE sector, moving from a losses of 2.3 billion in 2023 and 2.6 billion in 2024 to consolidated net profit of 2.5 in 2025. This is a 5.1 billion swing in just 1 year. The event was attended by cabinet ministers, but also SOE commissioners. I couldn't make it because I had a visitor from Guinea-Bissau. Now, in the same vein, on the occasion of Yawm al-Ashura, His Excellency the President Adam Barrow has granted a free pardon to 105 prison inmates, exercising his constitutional prerogative of mercy under Section 82 of the 1997 Constitution. The beneficiaries, comprising 103 males and 2 females of Gambian and other nationalities, were selected after due consultation with the committee called the Prerogative of Mercy Committee. The act of clemency reflects the President's commitment to compassion and restorative justice, with the Office of the President encouraging all party individuals to reintegrate productively back into their communities. Do you have any questions on this?
Well, on the prerogative of mercy, one of the things he is criticized for is whether he looks into the details, of the advice he's given as to who, to pardon. Because there is allegedly, among the 105 pardoned, someone who raped a 7-month-old woman.
Actually,
such a person.
I heard that one, and I called the Minister of Justice yesterday, and we had a very long conversation about this. And they did a detailed investigation on this matter, and they found that none of these 105 were convicted of rape. The SR judge that was involved, there are 2 SR judges. The one released in February was convicted of manslaughter, served sentenced to 15 years, served 7, and because of his behavior, and also Senegalese national, he was sent back to Senegal to complete his sentence. Now, the other SR judge that is released now was charged on drug-related charges. So there is no evidence to suggest that any one of these who has been released was convicted of rape. Now, it could be a prosecutorial issue where somebody might be charged with different counts, but one count wasn't convicted of another count and convicted of this. I don't want to get, but what I can tell you is that based on what the investigation revealed yesterday, none of these inmates that are freed were convicted of rape. That is for sure. Look, Peter, the president and the government has no intention to release rapists. We have what would we gain from it, knowingly? Exactly. And there's a very rigorous process in identifying the prisoners who are to be pardoned. And the committee has a board. The committee does their job. The board looks at it. It's like it goes through a very rigorous process before it is determined. So definitely, we don't believe that any rapist has been pardoned in this case. Now we move on to the other press release from the Office of the President, acting on powers vested in him by Section 190, subsection 1A of the 97 Constitution. He has effective immediately promoted and appointed the following military officers. Number 1, Major General Usman Gomez, currently acting Chief of Staff, is been promoted. He's now appointed as the Chief of Staff, Chief of Defense Staff of the Gambia Armed Forces. In the same vein, Sid Njaya, Brigadier General, is now the Deputy Chief of Defense Staff. Brigadier General Yaya Jame, current Commander of the Republican National Guards. Yaya Drame is currently Commander of the Republican National Guards. He is the new Commander of the Gambia National Army. You have Colonel Alaji Sane, currently Defense Attaché at the Permanent Mission in New York. He's recalled and appointed new Commander of the Republican National Guard. So these appointments take effect immediately. Also, another update from the government, which I think it's worth mentioning, is the Ministry of Agriculture.
What about it?
In a press release, the ministry announced that the government of the Gambia has maintained the fertilizer price as $1,100 per bag. This is also a huge subsidy because the price from last year was $2,900, and I think this year is going to go because of the war in the Middle East. But we are still maintaining the price at $1,100 per bag for this farming season. Government has announced that a subsidy of $1.6 billion is going to be injected into the agricultural sector because they are providing 10,000 metric tons of organic fertilizer for free of charge to farmers, alongside NPK 15-15-15 and urea and so on and so forth. Now, strict measures ensure prices remain fixed. Purchases are limited to 25 bags per person unless cleared by the ministry, and fertilizer cannot cross borders because this is highly subsidized.
These porous borders, are you going to be able to police the entire border?
We've given instructions to the police to be on alert and all border posts to be on alert to avoid any smuggling. Now, additional support includes rice, maize, groundnut, cowpea, and findi seeds for free to farmers. For the 6,500 bags of fertilizer distributed free through projects, plowing services, and herbicides covering over 20,000 hectares across 1,500 communities in 7 regions, with a total investment of $3.3 million, has also been invested into the agricultural sector for this farming season.
Okay, and are these conditional on the farmers voting for President Barrow in the forthcoming election? Because the minister, Demasabali, is said to have gone to Kartong and told farmers there that if they wanted continued support, they had to ensure that they voted for President Barrow in the upcoming election.
Well, what I can tell you is that
why would ministers want to use state resources, to canvass for votes for the president?
One thing I can tell you with certainty is that the president made a promise to support farmers and to support agriculture in this country, and this support is in line with that promise and is delivering.
I'm talking about Demasabali going to Kartong and telling farmers if they wanted, continued support from the government, they had to ensure that they voted for Adama Barrow. Should support from government be made conditional upon, voting for a particular person?
That was not a condition.
Isn't it?
If he said that,
if you want continued support, you ensure that you vote for President Barrow.
You use the word continued support. It says that if you, I've not heard the exact words of Demasabali. I don't know what was said, what wasn't said. What I can tell you is that I'm not here to speak about what Demasabali said to farmers. Yes. What I can tell you is that the President, His Excellency, made a commitment to farmers and is delivering on that promise.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to comment directly on what Demasabali says.
Now, we go to Pura. Pura have signed a landmark memorandum of understanding with ARTP. This is the Senegalese equivalent of Pura, the regulator in Senegal that regulates telecoms, to strengthen regulatory cooperation in communications and postal services. This was done over the weekend. The MOU sets out a framework for collaboration.
Does Pura see a need for that because of the influx of Senegalese media into the Gambia as well?
So this is mostly on telecoms. Media is not part of telecoms. Pura is a multi-regulatory authority that regulates media, but also telecoms. In this part, ARTP...
I was waiting for that. How can Pura not be, how can Pura be divorced from the media?
But ARTP doesn't regulate
media. We have a TV here that is Senegalese owned. We have a newspaper here that is Senegalese owned. And, at some point, Orange was supposed to be owning...
but they didn't own it, so we don't discuss that. What I can tell, ARTP is not a media regulator. So therefore, any MOU here has nothing to do with the media. Because ARTP is not the media regulator, it doesn't regulate the media in Senegal.
Because my question is, because Pura is a media regulator, that's why I asked whether this Pura sees a need for this because of the influx of Senegalese media.
There's no influx. One TV, one newspaper, it's not an influx.
That's how it starts.
No, it's not an influx. Influx means if it comes in droves, it's not an influx.
Everything starts with
If you say the introduction, yes, not an influx. However, what I can tell you is that ARTB is not a media regulator. So therefore, this MOU has nothing to do with media. It has to do mostly with telecoms, particularly roaming. What is roaming? They are trying to make sure that they create a roaming system between Senegal and Gambia. So when you travel to Senegal, you have to change SIM card. Your African SIM card will work in Senegal. A Senegalese coming to Gambia where they can work here like in Europe. You move from Spain.
What people want to know is the cost element.
No, that's why roaming. There's no cost, at no extra
no,
cost.
Zero cost?
Now the roaming has charges. So we want to remove those taxes so there are no charges.
Yeah, that's what people want to know.
Exactly. So the roaming exists now, but it comes at a huge cost because of the taxes that are attached to it. Now we want to remove those taxes and align and configure it in a manner in which now when you travel to Senegal, you can use your SIM card just like you are using in Gambia, but likewise the Senegalese. So to ease and also with Spectrum, also internet services, postal and courier operations, these cybersecurity, consumer protection, and also how to work to make sure that they both synergize and use emerging technologies in a manner that benefits. So this mostly focuses on the telecoms and tech sector, and not media, because ARTP doesn't regulate the media in Senegal.
Okay, well, let's go back to roaming. When I hear roaming, right now, with all those exorbitant costs, you can still do everything. You can go to Senegal, as long as you are able to, pay the bill. You can use your my 77115999, which roams, by the way, and call a Senegalese number. But is what it costs you.
That is the cost we are removing now.
Exactly. That's why I said when you talk about roaming, it's the cost element that you should emphasize.
That's what I'm emphasizing now. And thank you for reminding me that is the purpose of this MOU is to ensure that within the West African region, we've already signed with Ivory Coast, with Liberia. I think we are signing with Sierra Leone. So that when you go to these countries, you don't pay extra charges for using your SIM card there. This MOU speaks to that, to ensure that also between Senegal and Gambia, we remove all roaming charges so that when you use your officer in Senegal,
that has my 100%.
Everything we do has your support. Fortunately.
You haven't talked about the National Emergency Treatment Center in Farato, have you?
Did I skip it?
You skipped it, and that's where most of today's questions come from.
Oh, it's here on Saturday, the 27th of June.
Yeah, well, you didn't say it.
No, I skipped it. Commission the National Emergency Treatment Center and the Biological Engineering Hospital in Farato. The modern facility, the largest ever built in Gambian history, introduces advanced emergency care, a national diagnostic and imaging center, a national reference lab, and a biomedical engineering unit to service medical equipment locally and regionally. It also houses the Ministry of Health Training and Conference Center to build a new generation of Gambian health professionals. The commission marks the first phase of the government's transformative health city project, which will expand to include a kidney transplant center. So we'll do the kidney transplants here instead of going abroad. Open heart surgery center for the first time in our history. A cancer treatment center for the first time in our history. And a 1,500 bed expansion in Farato. This is going to be one of the biggest healthcare infrastructure developments, not only in the Gambia, but also in the sub-region. This is massive. This is huge. I think we should commend the government of His Excellency, President Adama Barrow, and also the Minister of Health, Samate, for this transformative healthcare project.
And of course, once the President had the floor, he didn't limit himself only to the health aspect of the day and the occasion. He spoke about electricity and he proudly announced that the electricity supply had now been stabilized after a turbulent month.
Yes.
Which is okay. But he went further to call on his critics, those who were criticizing during that month-long period that, it was a challenge for everybody, to now acknowledge that, things have changed. And a lot of people thought, well, he was, aiming another jibe at Ousainou Darboe.
Yeah,
because you yourself sat here and pilloried, that the video that Ousainou Darboe...
I think my uncle, Excellency Darboe, should do another video where he puts the lights now on to tell Gambians that light not a sign.
Yeah, but why does the president have to respond, directly to his political opponents
in fact, the president was not responding.
Rather than just letting the results speak for themselves.
No, I'm just saying that, by the way, bringing some humor into our discussion. However, the president's speech in Farato made no reference and wasn't responding to Ousainou Darboe's video. He wasn't. What the president was doing is that, as Gambians, let us be honest and have honest discussions. If things go wrong, and you come hard on the government to criticize, if things go right, let us also give commendations where they are due. That is honest discussion. We cannot only... See, let me tell you something, Peter. And I've been thinking about this for the past couple of days. the president, by all indications, and for all intents and purposes, has over-delivered his mandate. When a government comes in power after either or through a transition from either autocratic rule to democratic rule or from war to peace, your main preoccupation should be to maintain stability. Particularly when, during that war or during that dictatorship, social institutions were disrupted, political institutions were destroyed, and economic institutions were destroyed. Now, we had all these things happening. Our society was divided in the past 22 years. We had a very divided society.
People say we're still divided.
Now we are more united. Political institutions, democracy was non-existent. And our economy was in tatters. You'd expect a president that takes over from that to only focus on uniting a divided society, on strengthening and building and modernizing our institutions, both political and economic institutions. That should be the prerogative of the president, and that we should have expected from him. He has gone beyond that. He united a divided society by being someone who's not vindictive. He built our economic institutions and the foundations of our economy. Today, we are one of the leading economy that is growing in the continent. And also, he built and stabilized our democracy. Today, Gambia is a thriving, secure, stable democracy. That's why he should have stopped. If he had done only that, he had delivered. But he went beyond that. He built infrastructure, health infrastructure, modern health infrastructure. He built education infrastructure, modern education across the country. He built road infrastructure across the country. He built institutions. He's modernized institutions. So then the dishonesty there is. We have some opposition elements who don't see the bigger picture and are so myopic that they only focus on the trivialities. Gambia is bigger, and the things happening in this country are bigger than one street flooding after the rains. And they'll go and take we've built over 100 roads in this country, across the country. Hakalang is not flooding. Kiang West is not flooding. Bruford roads are not flooding. The roads in Bas are not flooding. You go to a road that is not ready yet. It's not even ready yet.
Is that what the opposition did?
That's what they did. They went down because...
Which of the opposition parties?
No, I don't have to... No, I mean, you go online, you have some activists aligned with opposition, activists, so-called activists that are opposition, and they go to one road, only one road, and it's flooding because the road is not ready yet. It is still under construction. It's like if you are building a house, you've not fixed the roofs yet, and it rains, and inside the house has water, and people will take it and say, how can you build a house without a roof? But the house is not ready yet. And they are saying, how can you build roads without a drainage? In fact, they need to separate what a gutter is and what a drainage is. These roads, the side holes are gutters. A combination of gutters and culverts, it what leads to a main drainage that washes into a river or the sea. If you are building a road, the gutter is not ready yet. It drains, obviously. It will flood. You'll see some flooding there. But imagine what was there before. There was no road before. Did they talk about that?
Yeah, but there was no flooding, perhaps?
No, but what I'm saying is that...
If there was no road before, and then a road comes and there's flooding...
You know why there was no flooding? Because when there were big holes in that road, so the water settles in those holes. No, let's be honest with each other. We were here. If you take the road from Bruford Gamtel, to inside Bruford before, these big holes like holes, the water settles in those holes. It doesn't flood, it stays there. But now because it's smooth, the water has no place to go. The road is not finished yet. The side holes that we should fix, the gutters, that should transport the water into a drainage system, into the sea, it's not ready yet. It's still under construction.
You've been working on that road for how many years now?
Which one?
This particular Bruford road.
Bruford is ready.
Yeah.
That's what I'm telling you. I'm giving you as an example. I'm giving Bruce as an example. Okay. Bruford is not flood. Did you see them show pictures of Bruford flooding? No.
Dubai. No,
they went to roads that are not ready yet. They're not ready yet. They're still under construction. Okay. And I think that is what is the dishonesty. Okay. And I think the opposition has one strategy, Peter. They have one strategy. I could even expand that strategy to 3. 1 is to misinform and manipulate the public.
No, that's what they say. You do every Tuesday on this program.
No, listen. Everything I say here, I back it with evidence. With evidence. Now, what they do is that we've seen it happen in African countries recently, in the past 10 years, where the opposition uses social media propaganda to try to misinform and mislead the public that the government is doing nothing. And those opposition have been voted in, and they could not deliver. We've seen it. I can name you 10 countries in the past 10 years.
Give me just two.
No. Diplomacy-wise, I cannot name names.
Then don't say
What I can tell you is that today their populations have regretted because the expectations are not met by reality. Somewhere in Utopia, a particular opposition leader told Utopians. Utopia. Okay.
Utopia. Okay. This fictitious.
One particular opposition leader told Utopians, if you vote me on the 10th, on the 11th, I'll bring down the price of basic commodities. It's been over 4 years since Utopians voted that leader in. Today, the prices have gone up, and they could not bring prices down. Look, Peter, I had said it here before. The business of government is a serious business. Promises alone don't change things. You need to deliver. The people who are going around telling the public that vote me and I'm going to do X, Y, Z, they cannot do it. It's not, government is complex. So I think Gambians they should be very wary of what they do.
Okay.
The biggest regret we'll do as a country is to vote this government out, to bring in an opposition that is inexperienced, that is divided, and that has no clue.
I keep reminding you that when Barrow was coming in, nobody was as inexperienced or more inexperienced than he was.
Yes,
but today you are singing his praises.
The context is different. At that time, every Gambian was united that we are being subdued. We are being
Okay, you're saying
abused.
The circumstances are different.
Very different.
The circumstances are different.
Now there is stability.
You insist we are a unified country. But
yes.
The president, wherever he goes, he calls for unity. You know that. He calls for unity. And in so doing, in Farato, he said, and I quote, again, this is based on reports. I wasn't there. You should accept that I am the president of this country. When you are sick, you go to my hospital. When you have problems, you go to my police station. The roads you criticize are the same roads you drive on. Why did the president feel that it was necessary to make those remarks in that way?
What are wrong with those remarks? The president was right in saying that. Because
when
the hospital,
my police,
when things don't work in the hospital, who do they blame? They say the president is not fixing it. You see, don't take his words literally. Sometimes we don't take these words literally. My hospital, my school, my this, my
Should
that.
he be talking
now,
like
if
that?
If you tell that
Should he be talking like that?
What I'm saying is that nothing is wrong with that statement. Because he is the president of the Republic of the Gambia.
So he owns everything in government.
Not in the literal sense as you are saying. What I momlen ko dinka. Dinka nela momlen ko dinka. He is the custodian of all the no, but now he's the but he's the custodian of all the institutions in this country today. When they work, it is him. When they fail, it is him. If the roads are not working,
but what does he stand to gain by speaking in this manner?
No, what I'm saying is that what do people stand to gain by misinterpreting and misrepresenting his words? He didn't mean it in that way that it is his personal property. He didn't say that. He said this, and he's right in saying that he's the president of the republic. He's the custodian of all the institutions of this country. If they go wrong, it is him. Why? Okay, then let's stop blaming him if things go wrong, if he's not the custodian. If the hospitals don't work, let's stop blaming him then. But what he's saying is that people misrepresent his words, try to say things that he doesn't even mean, and it wouldn't work. What he's saying is that he is the custodian, Momlen Kodenka, it is his. Nothing is wrong with that.
The way, sounding like that is at variance with this most humble president, not only in Africa, but in the world that you once said here.
He's still humble.
There's no humility in that.
There is humility in that. Look, like I said, you are misrepresenting what he really said. What he is saying is that he is the custodian of these institutions, and therefore these institutions are under him because They are his responsibility. If they work, we blame him. If they don't work, we blame him. So therefore, saying that these are my hospitals, these are my schools, nothing is wrong with that. I mean, all presidents say that. I don't see anything wrong with that. This should not even be a debate. I think the debate should have been, Peter, on the advantages and the transformative the transformation this hospital will bring.
Oh no!
Nobody
can argue against that.
Saying that my roads, my hospital, these are not things that we should even debate because they are not important. They are not important.
I think there is
we are trying to misrepresent it.
I think there is not a single Gambian who would not celebrate.
I've seen some who are not celebrating.
They're not celebrating it?
They say, it's a World Bank project. In fact, so they shift the goalpost. But they say, they will not be able to maintain it because they're not good at maintenance. You see, there are people who are enemies of this country.
It doesn't mean that they are not celebrating.
They're not, but they don't even say, well, we commend you. Their first comment is...
That's the only thing they are not doing. They are not commending this government.
But they're not even celebrating.
But they are happy that it is there.
They are not happy because these are people who, whenever the government has success, they are sad. All they want to see is failure. All they want to see is failure of this government. And they are not doing it they are doing it to themselves because the government belongs to all of us. Some people are so selfish that for them to go to be at number one Marina Parade, they wish doom for this country. They want this country to fail. They want the institutions to crumble. So we blame the president and vote him out so they can go to one Marina Parade. Well,
speaking of crumbling institutions, the National Stadium, the Independence Stadium, Safal has been on about it. Your good friend. He's described the long drawn-out refurbishment of the Independence Stadium as a national disgrace, and many Gambians, share his frustration with the cost and time it is taking to fix the Independence Stadium.
I think I don't blame Safal because I think he's run out of ideas. Now he doesn't know what to talk about anymore. So therefore he will
the
go
Independence
to
Stadium.
The Independence is ready.
It's ready.
The only thing that was remaining was the pitch. The pitch is ready. But government decided to also change the track. And we removed the entire track. We are building a brand new track there. Because we believe the stadium is only for football. It is only for track and field. Look, Peter, the stadium was there for since it was built in 1983 to when it was started to be refurbished. Nobody touched it. It was crumbling. It was dilapidated. It was bad. We are now working to make sure that it is fixed. It is fixed. You've seen the pictures inside. Modern, world-class facilities are built inside that stadium.
They say those are AI pictures.
AI. Send your journalists to go in there and look at whether they're AI pictures. The pitch is ready. We are supposed to start our games, but government thought that it's not wise to start the games. Then we need to fix the tracks. We have to also stop the game again. We said, why don't we just, if we are able to wait for a couple of years, extra months is nothing. They removed the entire track. Now they are building a brand new track, which is almost done. And that is it. Very soon every problem that this country has been grappling with is been fixed by this government. We talked about the ferries here. When the ferries drifted, there were no ferries. So much noise about the ferries. It is not a problem anymore. It's fixed. The stadium will be fixed. We'll start playing in our stadium. ID cards, we are fixing it. But let me tell you also something, Peter. There is no country that has no issues. It doesn't happen.
Nobody says that.
But it is a manner in which they amplify certain problems in a manner in which they think that just one problem, the whole country is going underground.
Yeah, but the stadium is not only Esa Mbaifal's problem. It's even the problem of one of our greatest footballers at this point in time, Yankuba Minte. I'm sure you've read.
I think he was ill-advised to get into the politics of stadium as a footballer. He should have just focused on playing for his country, and that's it. We are building the stadium. I don't know whoever advised him. That was ill-advised. It wasn't very wise for him to get into that. But nonetheless, that's his choice. It's a democracy.
It affects him.
No, but what I'm saying,
he wants to play before his crowd.
Look, if everything that affects us will make us boycott this country, all of us will boycott this country. But there's one or two that affects everybody in this country.
What affects you about this country, which if you followed, you will be boycotting?
No. What I'm saying is that I don't want to go into me personally what affects me. What I'm saying is that every Gambian you see today in a workplace, there's something that affects they're not happy about, because the country is not a rich country. We are a poorly resourced country. And we have mega resources that we are trying to do our best to give the best to our people. For the President, His Excellency, and his government, our priority is to ensure every Gambian lives a dignified life. Our young people have jobs. Our pensioners and old people die in dignity. Our women are empowered to participate in nation building. Our hospitals are well equipped, so any Gambian who is sick can be cured. Our schools are well equipped so our kids can go to school no matter where you live, whether Bolibana or Bijilo or Kabada, so that our roads are well equipped, so that everybody has electricity, everybody has clean water. This is our wish, and that is what we are working towards. And we cannot be distracted by people who just look at the minor problems and try to amplify them to make us believe that the country is sinking. This country is not sinking. And I said something, Peter, last week. I'm going to repeat it. Gambia is not worse off today than it was 15 years ago. And everybody agrees with that. The Gambia is better off today than it was 15 years ago. In every sector you touch, in every sub-sector you touch, Gambia is better off today. And let's do it. Let's look at press freedom. Let's look at democratic credentials. Let's look at security. Let's look at road infrastructure. Let's look at healthcare. Let's look at education, access to education. Let's look at access to water. Let's look at agriculture. Let's look at youth employment. Let's look at every brand, every sector we touch.
Security, my first guest said here that people were being killed almost every day here.
But that is not the data. You live in the Gambia today. People are not being killed. If there is crime. Crime is a challenge for this government, and we are working hard to make sure that we solve that crime. Our top priority as a government is to make sure every Gambian is protected in your homes, in your schools, at the workplace, but also in the streets. But let me tell you, crime is a challenge everywhere in the world. Even countries, and I've heard people saying that bring back the death penalty. There is no empirical evidence to suggest the death penalty curbs crime. America, some states have death penalty. Today, people are killed, not one person a day. Hundreds are killed a day sometimes in some cities. What we are doing as a country is that we have to work. Crime is so complex that not only government can solve crime. Crimes happen in the homes. Parents have to take responsibility. Community leaders have to take responsibility. Others have to take responsibility. It's a challenge we are facing, and we are working hard to make sure that we make Gambians safe. But they cannot, like I said, they take a small problem and they amplify it like it's a systemic problem. It's not a systemic problem. We don't want any Gambian to die in this country as a government. But this is a challenge that every country is facing, and we are going to make sure we resolve this issue in a manner in which Gambians will feel safe in their communities.
1 minute to the top of the hour. President Barrow has promised a cut in the price of fuel in July, and July is less than 24 hours away.
So what is happening is that, like I said, Gambia's energy prices, fuel pump prices react to global market prices. When global market prices go up, obviously it will go up here because we buy from the international market. We don't set the price of oil. The price of oil is set in the international market. So therefore, when the price goes up in the national market, it goes up here. We react to it. We are very reactive to that market. Recently, with the peace deal signed between Iraq and the US, the price of oil went down to almost $79 per barrel of Brent crude. And therefore, this will have obviously an impact in the pump prices in the Gambia. That is the context where he was speaking, that now that the prices have gone down in the global market, highly likely will ensure that also the prices go down here. But remember also, the truce is fragile. And it can be, and it seems like now what we are saying, tensions are flaring up again. The Strait of Hormuz is still not fully open. It can be that this month, even if it goes down, if things continue like this, next month it can go up again. So like I said, we react to global market prices. We don't set the price is set by the market.
This month doesn't count anymore. It's the last day of the month.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about this month. I'm saying that going forward.
I'm suspending buying any fuel today. I'll buy tomorrow because President Barrow has said that fuel will be cheaper from tomorrow.
Well, when the president promises, the president delivers on his promises.
So fuel,
that is something that
fuel will be cheaper from Wednesday morning.
When the president promises.
From 1 minute past midnight on Wednesday.
When the president promises, he makes good on those promises.
Dr. Ceesay, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
A better way to pay your UTG fees with instant proof of payment and real-time student portal update. Paying your University of the Gambia fees has never been easier or more convenient. With Ecobank, students, parents and guardians can pay UTG tuition and related fees through our secure digital banking channels such as Ecobank mobile app, Ecobank Online and Ecobank Omni Lite. Once payment is completed, instant proof of payment is generated and the UTG student portal is updated in real time, allowing students to proceed immediately with registration, course selection, and clearance without unnecessary delays, while giving parents and guardians peace of mind that payments have been successfully processed. How to pay via the Ecobank mobile app. Open the Ecobank mobile app and navigate to the home screen. Select Pay Bill, choose Pay a New Bill, and select Schools from the category options. Select University of the Gambia. select the specific product you are paying for. Enter your matriculation number and tap Continue. Validate your details. The system will display the payable amount. Press Continue to confirm the payment. An e-receipt is generated automatically as proof of payment with real-time updates on the student portal. How to pay via Ecobank Online or OmniLite. Log in to Ecobank Online and OmniLite using your credentials. Select the menu and choose Bill Payments. Choose Quick Bill Pay and select School from the category options. Select University of the Gambia. Select the specific product you are paying for. Enter your matriculation number and tap Continue. Validate your details. The system will display the payable amount. Press Continue to confirm the payment. An e-receipt is generated automatically as proof of payment with real-time updates on the student portal. Walk into any Ecobank branch or pay through our digital channels and enjoy instant proof of payment with real-time updates on the student portal. Ecobank, the Pan-African Bank.
Jah Oil, the company, have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jah Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
sant yàlla.
looy xaar utal Wave nga scan nga fay nag doo ci yokku dara.
Scan to pay more, no problem. 0% no charges.